because we have a failed state. We have a decayed state. And clearly, the Ruto and this government are completely clueless vis-a-vis taking this country forward. You can see from the vetting, you ask yourself, what was the point of the so-called dismissal of the cabinet secretaries who are there before? Because the ones who are being vetted, they're just as clueless, just as mediocre, just as depraved morally. So what does it imply? It implies that the state is decayed. Opposition. These people are not the opposition. They masqueraded. Raila Odinga was masquerading as an opposition leader. He was not. He's a cynic. He also thinks just like William Ruto and those who came before him. So he hasn't betrayed us, because for people committed to a better Kenya, to reform, to change, to a total overhaul of this political, economic, and social architecture, have not had Raila Odinga as one of the people who can midwife that change. So he's not betrayed us. He's just done the cynical politics that he has engaged in since time immemorial. So what is the way forward? The way forward is that we have to wrestle the country back. We have to bring to an end this feudal system whereby a few people are entitled to privileges regardless of how they behave. They can murder, they can steal, they can break the law with impunity, but still they're rewarded and they masquerade as our leaders. That must stop, and they're not going to stop it because it's in their interest that they continue loading it over us. So we, the millions who are at the receiving end, have to wrestle the country back into our hands, and we reset the country values, social justice, constitutionalism, equity, justice, fair play, these things to be part and parcel of our public and moral life. Viva, thank you.
Thank you so much, Weston. And as we proceed, I see that Dr. giving you thumbs up there. I think you really resonated with his thoughts. As we proceed, let's not forget to build the network. So follow the host, the co-host, the speakers, look left and right and follow each other. And this is going to come handy. Wilson, I see you. Thanks. This is going to come handy when you have a message to amplify. The more followers you have, the better, because it gets out, especially now that people are still being abducted. There are people who are complaining and saying, no, they did not notify anyone about our missing because we had less followers. So do follow each other. Wilson, over to you.
Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to each and every one of us. Thank you very much, Marge and Hillary, Dr. and everyone who is here with us. I have a very, very quick one that I want to say before I forget. First of all, when we say we are going to the street, I suggest we go to the street. I've seen at some point that we are in the street and some people are busy having space meetings. That's very bad, because I think when we are on the street, it don't help us unless you want to give us direction. Killers are coming from this side, let's go the other side. In case you are not doing so, you are not helping us. If we decide we are going to on such a date, for example, we have a nanny coming ahead of us, let's re-strategize, let's plan for it and wait for it eagerly, knowing that there's something ahead of us that we want to do. Secondly, I think that we should not even think about the cabinet vetting, because they are not vetting anything. Those are their people. I know these people in person. Those people, they are there because they have what those people want. They are their calibers. A thief will always have a friend who is also a thief. If you are a thief, your friends must be thieves. For example, this guy who was claiming to be the Gen Z leader, this called Baraza, he shot somebody and killed instantly. What did they do? They cover up. The Kagombe thing, this guy from Kiambu, he killed somebody. They cover up. So all these people, the only way that can really help us, the only way we can get our nation back, our country back, It's just by going there, taking what is rightfully belongs to us. Me and you, we come up, we team up with our flags, water, and everything, because I know they'll surely do it to us. But we must get our country back. The issue of let's forget about the Joe and those nonsense. We cannot help. We are in our houses, but when we go to the street in good numbers, we have our strength in numbers. Thank you so much. That's what I really wanted to pass, and I really want to encourage us. Kindly, please, let's do it together. Let's go. Let's go. Not that some people, Gen Z, millennial, all those X and everybody, let's go, because there's a time all of us must go. If we feel angry, let's all of us feel angry in the streets. Thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless us. God bless Kenya.
Thank you so much, Wilson. Let's go by Wycliffe and then Wakili Ndegwa and then Lekisho. Lekisho, you kept dropping. I'm glad you came back. Wycliffe, you dropped also. Those are sometimes people tell us that they've been removed from the space. No, it's a technical issue of people dropping. So Wycliffe, are you able to speak?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, kindly proceed.
Good evening, everyone. So I want to contribute. I think I want to agree with the General Miguna on this issue, because all along these people have been on the same side, and so by them moving to support the government is not something new. They've always been part of that government anyway. This is actually also an eye-opener to us that the fight is on our side, and we need to keep focused, like the way Dr. keeps on saying. All this vetting you're seeing with the CSS, those are how does Miguna call it? Abracadabra. Because if you look at how they are vetting even the CSS, there's nothing concrete coming out of this conversation or this vetting. And so as a team, if we kept the same momentum when we began of going to the streets and picketing and protesting, we would have won this war a long time ago. We just dropped the ball along the way. But I think the most important thing is we need to refocus and come back and now have a very formidable force again. Okay? So I want to agree with this team, and I want to assure you that I'm also part of this. And Viva, let's continue pushing. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe. We go to Wakili Ndegwa and then Lekisho and then 6,000.
Thank you. Thank you very much, listeners and fellow comrades, fellow fighters, fellow members in council, in the comrades in the struggle. I am so happy this evening, having listened to the submissions by our able doctor. I have never seen a man who has remained consistent and predictable like Daktari. And most importantly, when it comes to describing those characters. And one of the characters that he has consistently demystified and explained to us is this man, Raila Odinga. I cannot agree with him more that he is a conman, he's a political conman, he's a betrayer, and that is a man who has never, ever focused on becoming what he has decided to be. Having said that, I think our focus then is to see how we are going to liberate this country. There is no doubt that Kenyans have resolved that we need a change. It is no doubt that Kenyans have agreed that we need change. And they have also agreed that change will be initiated and brought by ourselves. And that this change must come during our lifetime. So there is no doubt about that. And that is why Kenyans have agreed that on the Nane they are going to congregate all of us in Nairobi in efforts to liberate ourselves. I just want to encourage fellow comrades that Nane is a date with destiny, is a date when we have to make our own self-determination. We have been silent for a long time. We have allowed the systems, and most importantly, the so-called democracy to guide us, but it has always yielded the undesired results. Part of what the so-called democracy has yielded is the current rogue regime.
is the current regime of hooligans, is the current regime of impunious people. So we may not be able to trust democracy 100%. And we must then be able to get to a situation where we are saying we want our own self-determination. We want to domesticate our democracy the way we understand it here in Kenya, the way we understand it from our own community where we come from. And then we modify it to fit within the Western concept of democracy. What is happening with us and what is contained in our constitution is a complete Western concept of democracy, which has never been domesticated and which we are now doing a test run. And the test run has yielded the current regime. So on Nane Nane is a date of self-determination. It's a date when we are going to walk to freedom and walk ourselves for freedom. It's a date when we are going to redeem this country, redeem ourselves from the shackles of this Western concept of democracy, redeem ourselves from these puppets who have been installed and maintained by the Westerners for their own selfish gain. So on 8th of 8th is a date when we must speak with a loud voice from our rooftops. For anybody who bothers to hear, to listen, that Kenyans have decided to shape their own destiny. On that day, we'll speak and walk on the streets and march ourselves to freedom. And I'm encouraging people, if you're not able, if you have nothing to work for on that day, come and walk for the blood of Rex. If you have nothing to work for or nothing to hold on to convince you that you need to leave your comfort zone and come and walk, please come and walk for that young child who is not able to get a BCG vaccination upon birth. If you have nothing to hold on to or to work for, just come and march for that old woman and old man who is not able to get his social support system. Come and walk for our food, our grains, the sovereignty of the grain that has been mutilated by the Westerners. Come and walk yourself to freedom for the bodies that are, countless bodies that are now lying in city mortuary. So we must dramatize ourselves and we must walk on that particular day. It doesn't matter whether you'll be leading, whether you'll be in the middle, whether you'll be in the, or you'll be behind. As long as you'll be walking from wherever you'll be, we walk ourselves to freedom. We must speak with a loud voice for anybody again to hear, because this democracy has failed us. We cannot try this thing first, the second time, and then we keep on doing the same thing repeatedly. That we need to be insane. We need to be out of our mind for us not to try something else. Like Daktari said, it worked. It has worked elsewhere in the countries, and the most recent is the Southern Sudan. Sorry, is the Sudan situation. We must walk. If Sudanese can walk when they had a brutal dictator, how about us? We must walk. We must walk against this so-called vetting that is going on in parliament. This is not vetting. This is just rubber stamping. And because they are not listening to us, we will walk against the person who is orchestrating this mischief, who is orchestrating this impunity, and that is none other than Mr. William Ruto. So on that date, come and work for that particular child who is not able to get capitation funds in their classes. On that day, as I sum up, come and walk yourself and redeem this country from the shackles of slavery. Let us come and emancipate ourselves from this slavery. If we do not walk, William Ruto will walk over us. People are saying, oh, guys will die, they will be killed. Revolutions are always like that. And anyway, even if we don't walk, even if we don't die of a bullet, we are dying of uncontrollable diseases. If we don't die of bullet, we are still dying of hunger. We may not die of a bullet, but we'll die on a road crash because of the impunity and the recklessness of the Kenya's drivers because of the failed system. If we don't walk on that day, perhaps, and die of a bullet, you'll die of the criminals in the streets. You'll die of the failure to have a BCG. How many kids are dying currently because of lack of the BCG? Come and walk for the voiceless. Let us redeem our country. Let us rebuild our country. Let us reclaim our country. Let us work for freedom. Viva, viva, viva. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wakili, and indeed, Viva. We move to 6,000.
Yeah, so
Sema, unanipata 6,000?
nakusikia.
Yes, we can hear you, Maj.
Okay.
So I want to say this.